Okay, Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close is another one of the fairly decent amount of 9/11 movies. In this one, it focuses primarily on the child of Sandra Bullock and Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks, of course, dies in the 9/11 incident, and his child just is trying to put any sort of logic to it at all. He might have, I think it's Asperger's syndrome, and he's trying to figure out if there's anything to it that makes sense. While going through his father's stuff, he finds this key in an envelope that's marked black. So he then goes on this huge quest to try to find out, where does this key go to? Who does this key belong to? Because one of the things he used to do with his dad is this thing called like scavenger hunt, where he would set up a bunch of kind of bizarre clues to help him try to find, these really sort of weird things. It's the sixth borough of New York, things of that nature. For the most part, this movie feels kind of weird because you're just watching a kid who has, we'll just say it's Asperger's syndrome. So he's constantly shaking, a tambourine to try to help calm himself. He doesn't take any sort of public transportation at all because of what happened, and that's how the terrorists killed people. So he's trying to put this whole tragedy into context by going and visiting all these strange people who have the last name Black to try to figure out, did you know my father? What does this key go to? So it's him trying to find answers, while the whole time becoming more alienated from his mother. Also, this is not a happy movie. Of course, you would expect that in a movie where a child is trying to make sense of his father's death during a terrorist attack, probably isn't the most feel-good movie of the year. The kid, really, really solid actor. Since he has almost like constant anxiety and almost panic attacks, you watch it kind of going, okay, yeah, this kid's even setting me off a little bit on edge. This is just... But he does it well. He does get a sidekick kind of like about halfway through the movie. He picks up like an elderly male sidekick. You pretty easily figure out right off the bat who he is. But it's done well, and it gives him someone to go back and forth with. If they didn't have that, it would be him going to random people's houses and asking them, if did you know my father? Do you know what this key is for? And getting their stories of what happened on 9/11 while sharing his story. Pretty powerful stuff. Very, very sad. Not like What Dreams May Come sad, but still a very sad movie. If you're a huge fan of Tom Hanks, he's not in this movie for a very long period of time. If you're a big fan of Sandra Bullock, she's in there longer than Tom Hanks, because she doesn't die in the trade centers. But she doesn't have a really powerful role. It's predominantly the child actor.